guys, it's Phil coming back at you with another video. Today, I'm back. I'm pumped up. I'm excited. Hopefully, everyone's doing well. Practicing self-care, not letting one thought, one situation, one person take them outside of what they know to be true. And I know it's been a long time. I miss you guys. Hopefully, everyone's honestly doing well and living their best life and doing everything that they need to make sure that they're the best possible version of myself. I know I haven't uploaded a video in a decent amount of time, but just know that I've had some personal stuff go on, and I'm trying my absolute best to come back with it. So if you've been repping and rocking with me in the meantime in individual tutoring or the study groups, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you guys that rep and rock with me. So this video is going to be going over the free study group that I'm going to be doing this Saturday. It is going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern time until they kick us out. And a lot of times people are like, man, what are these free study groups? These free study groups are study groups where I have people come back to share their experience of how they went into the exam, kicked it directly in the chest to get the job done. If you're struggling to prepare for your exam or you failed your exam and you're looking for a place to process what is going on within your mind, that is also a space for that to be going on. We'll be going over a couple of practice questions as well to get you guys in the right mode to get inside of the exam and destroy it. Because a lot of times what I'm hearing is people getting destroyed or people sharing all these different things of how you should be doing one thing or doing all of these different things, and you are oftentimes doing things that you don't even think that you should be doing. So that's why I was like, man, I need to stay consistent and I need to be intentional and deliberate, because at the beginning of the year, similar to 2021, I was like, I need to be doing a free study group every single month to have people come back, share their experience of how it is like to go into the exam, to kick it directly in the chest to get the job done, but also give people a space and a place to feel heard and give them what they need to go into the exam and to destroy it. Because a lot of times when people are talking about the exam, it's negative things. It's like theories or just black and white type thinking. But a lot of times it's not that easy for individuals to just follow a process and just get the job done. But before we get into that, I'm going to be going over the study groups that I have coming up, the one-day course that I have coming up, as well as show you how to sign up for the free study group. And then at the tail end, if you want to really or are really repping and rocking with me and are looking for some motivation, I have some thoughts that have been going through my mind that I want to share with y'all. So just to give some realistic expectations of what this video is going to be, it's going to be me sharing the study groups that I have coming up, the one-day course that I have coming up. It is going to be showing you how to sign up for the free study group if you're not sure. But if you have been repping and rocking with me for a decent amount of time, it's the link that goes to my calendar. So if you already know that, it's going to be live for you to be able to do that. So the next Sunday study groups that are coming up. So if you're like, man, I really want to start repping and rocking with you, I've heard some decent amount of things, or this is the first time I've ever have seen you, the Sunday study groups are the easiest way for you to rep and rock with me, because my individual tutoring calendar is pretty booked up and it's kind of hairy and can't really find a barber to shave it. No, I'm just kidding. But the Sunday study groups are going over content, but also going over practice questions, because a lot of times people are telling you information, but they're not telling you how to recognize it and apply it. They're just telling you how to memorize it or giving you all of these word tricks. But when you go into the exam's not looking for you to give a research paper or do a presentation on these concepts. It's like, if it's inside of a question, are you able to recognize and apply it to get the job done? So the next Sunday study groups that I have coming up, and the Sunday study groups start at 7 p.m. Eastern time until they kick us out. And I never give a time when they end, because at the end of the day, I'm just going to answer everybody's questions and make sure that I give everything that I got. So realistically, it's like 3 to 4 hours on the conservative side, because there's a question and answer segment after each of those. But the Sunday study groups that are coming up are as follows. 320, defense mechanisms. So going over the defense mechanisms, providing examples, as well as going over practice questions on how to not memorize, but recognize and apply them to go into the exam to kick them directly in the chest to get the job done. 327, acronym and practice questions. So going over the acronym that I recommend people to utilize, not on every single question, but on the application question. So not just buzzwords that you should be looking out for, but what does each level of the acronym mean, as well as having you go through practice questions. So if you've been in a practice question session of mine before, these are going to be different practice questions, because I don't believe in having you just do the same questions. So if you've been in a practice questions session of mine before, they're 100% going to be new. So don't feel like you're going to be getting less than if you've been repping and rocking with me for a decent amount of time. The next one after that is going to be 4.3 meds and DSM-5. So going over the medications, as well as different diagnosis related to the medications. We'll be going over the antidepressant medications, anti-anxiety medications, ADHD medications, mood stabilizers, and antipsychotic medications, as well as the diagnoses that are related to those medications, as well as practice questions related to those, not to memorize, but be able to recognize and apply it. The next one after that is going to be 410, family and group therapy. So we'll be going over the group dynamics as well as family therapy. So Bowen's structural and strategic, and then just different dynamics, as well as practice questions related to that topic. And then 417 is going to be going over the 5-step process that I recommend people to utilize to go inside of the exam to kick it directly in chest to get the job done, as well as going over practice questions. So the theme of the session is going to be practice questions, but also providing additional tips of not just how do you conquer this exam, but what mental things should you be aware of? What are things that people tell you that are oftentimes a miss, or things that could negatively impact your ability to be able to go into the exam to kick it directly in the chest to get the job done? And these will be different questions than the 327 session, as well as previous sessions that I have done, as well as the last Sunday study group that I have planned. And then after we get closer, I'll plan more, is 424, Human Developmental Theories, Erickson's, Piaget, and Kohlberg's, as well as practice questions related to those. But again, these sessions are not going to teach you how to memorize these things. These sessions are going to teach you how to recognize and apply it, but as well as take you through practice questions, not to just make you feel good, not just to help you go with the buzzwords, but the practice questions that I review or the practice questions that I have in these sessions are going to provide you an opportunity to see, is my process correct? But also knowing that these questions are oftentimes more difficult than the ones that are on the exam, because I would rather have you go through difficult situations outside of the exam than go into the exam to get your chest kicked in and not get the job done. So again, do not come into these sessions expecting to get every single question correct, because I hear it all the time. Man, Phil, I came into your session, I'm not doing as well as I want to, I'm thinking of rescheduling now. It's not the goal of these sessions. And if you're not able to attend these sessions live, it's 100% possible to get the recording of the session. So the way that you do that is to register for the session as if you are going to attend live, and then I'll send the recording as well as the materials to the email that you sign up to the Monday morning after the session. If you have any question related to the Sunday study groups or anything related to those, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, which is view more under the title. I also still offer individual tutoring. My schedule tends to book out 3 to 4 weeks in advance, so just be mindful if your exam is prior to that, you may not get a session. I feel awful when people reach out and say, hey Phil, I'm just wondering if you have a last minute session. Oftentimes I do not, but if your exam is prior to that 3 to 4 week mark, you can send me an email and I'll add you to the tutoring waiting list, but just know it's better for you to plan further ahead so that way you have more options. And if you have any question related to individual tutoring, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, as well as the next one-day course is going to be not this Saturday, but next Saturday, 3/26 from 11 a.m. Eastern time until whenever they kick us out Eastern time, and I never give a length of time for when my sessions end because I'm always wrong and I tend to go longer based on the fact that I want to give you as much information as I possibly can to allow for you to be able to go into the exam to kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And if you've never heard of the one-day course, the one-day course has been the most successful thing that I've ever conjured up because it's the most amount of time that you get with me, but it's also identifying a lot of topics and putting you through difficult practice questions, so that way you are able to go into the exam and almost wonder where are the questions that are supposed to be difficult at, because you've been conditioned to do the best possible thing that you can, and that's not going with the buzzwords, that's not doing all these shortcuts that other people tell you to do, but it's being able to understand what is the question asking me, what do these answers mean, and then throwing those cats back to the question to see what the heck is going on. And if you're like, okay, what is the one-day course? The one-day course goes through a multitude of different topics. The tips I find most helpful for people to go into the exam, to kick the exam directly in the chest to get the job done. The most common reasons why people have failed the exam, because the best way for you to learn the things not to do are to examine the things that people have done in the past and learn from those things. In addition to that, going through different topics that oftentimes are tricky for people to discern, subpoena versus court order, when to refer versus when to seek supervision, community organizing, different ethical situations, operant conditioning, going over the medications, going over different DSM-5 diagnosis, personality disorders, bipolar 1 versus bipolar 2 disorder, the schizophrenia spectrum, as well as going over the acronym, not ways to memorize it, but to recognize and apply and understand what is the meaning of this answer choice versus going with the buzzwords. And again, going with the buzzwords, you're not a bee, you're going to get stung, and it's going to be rather painful. Also going through the 5-step process that I recommend people to utilize to break down every single question, as well as going through 25 difficult practice questions. And as I stated before, within the 327 and the 417 session, these questions are oftentimes going to be way more difficult than those that are actually on the exam. And the purpose is to put you through difficult situations outside of the exam. So that way, when you go inside of the exam, it's a lot easier on you and you're able to manage what these things actually are versus you going in having no clue and then getting ready to get out of the exam when you need to be ready to double down and do exactly what you've been trained to do. And that's go into the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. Similar to what I stated with the Sunday study groups, if you're not able to attend the session live or if you're not able to attend the entire session, that's 100% okay, because if you register for the session and let's say you don't attend at all, but let's say you attend for a little bit, you're still going to have your email on the list to receive the recording and the materials to review at your own leisure, because a lot of times people go to the one-day courses or different seminars and then they're left way more confused versus motivated and pumped up to get the job done. As well as for those that do not know, Audible has continued to partner with me on my YouTube videos and my podcast. So if you want to support me as well as support them, go to my Audible affiliate link at www.audibletrial.com/fill-in-the-gaps. Sign up for the 30-day free trial, because signing up for the 30-day free trial is how you can help me out. And if you're like, man, I always hear you talk about Audible. What is Audible? Audible is an easy way to get information on the go. So if you're busy just like me and you still want to become the best possible version of yourself, as well as if you just learn by audio anyway, audiobooks are easy ways to get information on the go and identify what are ways you want to grow, not just professionally, but also personally, to become the best possible version of yourself. So Audible is an easy way to get that done. Again, if you want to support me as well as support them, go to my Audible affiliate link, www.audibletrial.com/fill-in-the-gaps. Or if you're just like, man, Phil, I want to do it, but I don't really want to type all that in, click down below in the description, which is the view more under the title, and it allows for you to get directed right to it. And if you're like, man, I want to sign up, I want to get the 30-day free trial, when you sign up for the 30-day free trial, it allows for you to get a free book, and there are a couple of books that I would recommend. Again, these books are not just to help you excel professionally, but also personally, and there are things that I keep in my mind as I navigate the world to become the best possible version of myself as well, and the books are as follows: The Alchemist, The Archer, Traumatized, and Outliers. As I stated, each of them have different lessons and things and pieces of information that can help you progress professionally, but also personally to become the best possible version of yourself. And if you haven't already, click the like button down below, the thumbs up button next to the title, because it allows for other amazing social workers just like you to be able to find my videos, as well as leave a comment down below if you're planning to come to the free session this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time until they kick us out, as well as if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell notification right next to it, because it alerts you every time that I upload videos. And like I stated, I am back. A lot of the things that I had going on that were kind of like getting my attention or kind of like taking me away from being able to create videos have been kind of, by the grace of God, have been dissipated, and things are on the up and up at this given moment. As well as if you haven't checked out my podcast already, it is on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher or Spotify at Fill in the Gaps. So let's segue now into how to sign up for the free study group. And like as I stated, after I sign up or show you how to sign up for the free study group, there's going to be kind of a motivational piece or things that have been going through my mind. But the easiest way for you to sign up for the study group is to go to the website fillinthegaps.as.me, and it'll direct you to my calendar. But if you're like, man, Phil, I don't want to type that in, it'll be in the description down below, which is the view more under the title. It'll direct you right to my calendar. And as I stated, the rest of this video is going to be showing you, once you click on the link or type in the link, how to sign up for the study group. And then the tail end is going to be kind of a motivational piece. But again, the website to go to is fillinthegaps.as.me, and it'll directly right to my calendar. So once you click it or type it in, this is what it is going to look like on your screen. Once you're here, this is what it looks like. So this page also has the tutoring sessions, the one-day course, and the Sunday study group. So it's kind of the same calendar that I utilize for all of those. So you'll click this option that says free study group. You'll click that. Do not hit the redeem coupon, because that's what oftentimes trips people up. You'll select your time zone from the list. I'm in Eastern time zone, but don't stop there, because the calendar isn't just automatically going to populate. You have to click set time zone. So you'll click that. The only option will be this Saturday, the 19th. And since I picked Eastern time, it's going to say 4 p.m. because it's at 4 p.m. Eastern time. You'll hit add time, hit continue, and then it'll segue to this list. You'll type in your name, for those that do not know. My name is Bill Luttrell, and then my email is berda24@gmail.com. But do not speed through this, because if you enter the wrong email address, it's not going to send you the reminder emails. So be important and review it. So again, berda24@gmail.com. So after you hit complete appointment, then you are 100% done. If you're like, man, I really want to make sure that I have the link for the session, you can click that. You can copy and paste this, and it'll take you wherever you want to go. However, as I stated, there will be reminder emails for you to do it. And if you do not have Zoom, you can simply click this link, and it'll take you to how to download it. So those are the steps that you need to take. So you'll select the free study group option. You'll hit your time zone, hit set time zone. Don't stop, hit set time zone. And then once you get there, click the only date that will be available. So if you're watching this video after the 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern time, it's not going to allow you to register. But once you do that, type in your name, check your email address, hit complete appointment, and then you are all set up to attend the session this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern time until whenever the heck they kick us out. They can't kick us out because I'm the host, but those are the easy steps on how you can navigate, get into that space. And again, this session is going to be for people that have passed their exams, people that are feeling unmotivated, or also questions that you just have in general about the exam, because everybody is at a different level when they're preparing for the exam. So those are the steps on how to complete registration for the free study group. And again, if you're watching it after the date, you're not going to be able to attend the session because the calendar is not going to allow for you to be able to do that. And as I stated, this last part is going to be just some thoughts that I've been having running through my mind, just based on interacting with other individuals, but also things that I've been going through in my own life. Because if I'm going through something, I feel that other people can also resonate or identify with where they are at. So the biggest thing that has been going through my mind is the word resent. And as I just been thinking about the word resent, I started looking at the word more in depth. And if I separate it, means about and sent. Why am I being sent about things that I don't need to? Because what resent often is your past events communicating with you. So you're being sent back to those past events. And the only thing that you can gain from the past are lessons or some shame for yourself. But if you allow for your past to dictate your future, you are not going to get to the next level where you are supposed to be, because a lot of us have gone through things and we're more harsh on ourselves than other people are harsh on us, or we feel like we have to be perfect, or we feel like we can't have any ruffles in our feathers, or we feel like we can't do the things that we're supposed to do because X event. This exam oftentimes is going to exploit the things that you try to hide. But if you start to resent this process, but if you start to resent yourself, you start to resent different people in your life or within your situation, you are losing out on the lessons and blessings within that opportunity and situation. Because if you're going through something, there has to be some reason or some method to the madness of why you're going through those things. But if you're so blinded by resent and you keep sending things back to the past, you're never going to get past those situations, and it's not going to allow for you to hit reset. And what do I mean by that? Because if you look at the word resent, you take out the N, aka the negativity, you are going to see the word reset. So you have to get the negativity outside of your space and your place in order for you to reset and be the person that you're supposed to be. And you're like, what are you talking about? Because a lot of times people are so entrenched in what they're supposed to be doing. So oftentimes people are so entrenched in their own view or their own expectations of what they thought would be happening right now that they're missing out what's in the present moment, because the word resent and present both have the same thing. But if you add the P, aka positivity, to the word resent, you have the word present. So you have to be focusing on the positive instances in order to let go of all the things that you've gone through in order to be present. So the difference between you resenting things you've been through and you being able to be in the present moment are positive things that if you've gone through. And I ain't saying that everybody's been through positive things in their life, but if you look at any situation and you can't pull out at least one thing that you can learn from that, I would challenge you to dig deeper and do what you need to be doing in your situation. Because at the end of the day, when you hit the reset button, it's almost as if you are giving yourself a fresh start. So if you failed the exam before, or if you're not getting to the point that you think that you should be at this given moment in your life, you have to be willing to hit the reset button and say, those expectations are not who I need to be today. Those expectations are what I used to want, but I have to make adaptations and adjustments to be the person that I'm supposed to be today. Because again, a lot of us are our own critics. A lot of us will not let any mistakes happen in our life. But at the end of the day, if you're never willing to let go of your past, you are going to carry it on your back like a backpack, and you're not going to get to the levels and the heights that you deserve to be on because you're carrying everything. You can't carry your friend. You can't carry the opinions of other people. You can't keep carrying the things that happened in your past, because if you never get past them, you will only just ruminate and have resent within the moments, and you will look at the people that are letting things go and the things that they want to be doing, and you'll think, why am I not in that person's position? Why am I not able to do the things that they want? Why did my friend do this thing? Why is my colleague doing this? Why am I missing these opportunities? At the end of the day, some opportunities that seem sweet are not the opportunities that are built for you. So if you're comparing yourself to somebody else and saying, why not me? You need to be asking yourself, what do I need to do today to get closer to where I deserve to be? But if you're only serving these negative thoughts or ruminating on these negative events, you'll never get to that point. And it's easier said than done, but if you're only focusing on the strategies and techniques to go into the exam to pass, once you fail this test, you are then going to be at ground zero and saying, okay, I didn't anticipate this to happen. But again, everybody has a plan until things go south. Everybody has a plan until something goes awry. But it's only the people that can look at the negative things that have gone on in their life that find the positive, that when things go awry, they are ready to raise up and do what they're supposed to do and give themselves grace and identify the lessons and blessings within their life that succeed more than the people that are holding on to the things that they know that they should be letting go of. But the purpose of why people are holding on to resent are the things that they need to be letting go of, because it gives them the false sense of control and they have somebody to blame. But if you never let go of situations and you're only blaming X, Y, and Z, but you're not willing to look at the person in the mirror and saying, what did I do in this situation? Or what are things that I could take from this situation that are going to propel me further than me dragging myself down and saying, why me? Why are the things not happening to me? Or man, why do we got to do these requirements? Or why is this happening at this given moment? You need to be asking yourself, what is the purpose of this? How can this help me get further? And even if it isn't for you, how can my situation or the things that I'm going through help somebody else? How can somebody watch me go through this, look at me and say, man, I'm so glad that that person didn't give up, because I'm influenced, I'm blessed, and I'm going to do exact same thing because I see that it's possible. Because at the end of the day, I know some of you that are listening to this, and yes, I'm talking to somebody. Some of you that are watching this are like, man, I am the only person in my life or the only person in my situation that has succeeded. And a lot can be said for that. You've been through a lot. You have to give yourself credit. But if you stop, then you will never have the story that other people need to see in order to say, man, that person looks just like me and they went through the same things that I did and they didn't give up. So I need to keep pushing further and further and further along in the process. So you are a blessing and a lesson to somebody that you don't even know. And a lot of times as humans, we're not willing to communicate that. We're not willing to be like, man, you're such a huge influence on me. Man, you're such a positive force in my life. Or man, you're doing all these different things. But at the end of the day, if you're not willing to look at yourself and do some inside work, regardless of what you do outside, it will never be enough to fulfill what you're supposed to be doing with and for your situation. So again, you have to let go of that negativity and send it back to where it deserves, but allow for yourself to be present in this given moment. Hit the reset button, because if you were talking to somebody that you cared about and you talk the same way that you are talking to yourself right now, you would put that person in their place and say, do not say that person is any of those things, because they do not deserve to be put through those same things. So again, that's where that reset button says is like, okay, I'm done ruminating, I'm done being negative, and what am I going to do about it? Because everybody has things that happen to them, but a lot of what happens in life is how you react to those things that happen to you. And you have to be discerning through all these different things, because not everything that people tell you are for your benefit. Not everything that people tell you are they actually looking out for you. And I hear it more and more each day. Man, Phil, this program told me that I should do this. This program told me I should be doing that. This program told me to reschedule. This person told me that I'm never going to be enough, so I just need to throw my hands up and give up. And it's like, but what do you think? Do you agree with them? What do you think? If you disagree with them, don't let them take your control. Don't let them take your power. Don't let them take your energy. Like, come on. That's what I'm talking about, is you got to be willing to look them in the face and say, you don't know me. You didn't go through the same things to get to where I got through. So you need to be willing to say the right things, and if you're not gunning for me, you're gunning at me, and I'm not okay with that. So I'm willing to cut you off, because I know my own worth and where I'm supposed to be going, and if it's not with you in it, I'm all right with that. So you have to be willing to do that for yourself, because you deserve it. Everybody that's watching this, if you're this far in this video, I know you rocking with me heavy. So you have to be willing to say, I am worth putting myself first, and I'm willing to do everything that I need to do to get the people that have never left me and the people that are repping and rock with me heavy to the places that they are going to say, wow, we aren't in that place anymore. I'm so glad that you didn't give up. I'm so glad that you put this effort in, and you don't have to succeed on the first time, the second time, X amount of time, but you know that you are capable of doing more as long as you're willing to build yourself up and never give your control to somebody else. So that's what I mean, is you have to be willing to say, I'm worth going through some of these things. It may not be pretty. It may not be the easiest thing. It may not be things that I'm comfortable with, but sometimes we got to get comfortable with the uncomfortable and identify, why is this happening to me? Or where is this coming from? And if this person isn't gunning for me, they had a purpose in my life, but that doesn't mean that they're permanent in my life. So you have to start identifying, what are some of the actions I'm doing? Am I taking care of myself? Am I doing the right things? Am I striving and driving towards the right area? And if something doesn't feel right, guess what? It's probably not right. But you have to start trusting yourself, the people that are looking out for you, as well as start getting back to where you know that you should be. So those are some things that have been going through my mind, and it's like, man, I haven't been uploading videos, I know, but trust me, I'm still thinking of things that I can share with you guys and look out for you guys, because it kills me every time when somebody's like, man, this program told me this. I went into the exam, I got killed. I kind of critiqued them on some of the things that they were talking about, and they said I was the problem. Well, just know that you have somebody that's looking out for you, and if somebody hasn't told you this today, you can do this. You're amazing, you're gifted, you're talented, and you can do anything that you have your mind set to, as long as you never give up. Because it may not be on your timeline, but as long as you stay in line and do the straight line and do what you need to be doing with them for your situation, you'll get there. Because I know it, because as long as you have a belief, it'll allow for you to get to those spaces. But if you never believe in something, you will never achieve something. If you don't aim for something, you'll never hit it. But if you're hitting targets too easily, you may be in the range that you need to be stretching yourself. Because if you're achieving things easily, or if you're the person that's striving and driving ahead of people and nobody's ever challenging you, you got to get into the situations where you're actually feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Not in a dangerous spot, but you got to make sure that you're staying sharp to become the best possible version of yourself. Never settle on the situations, but always stay in that present moment and say, is this an opportunity I want? If not, I'm not taking it, and I'm not going to be resentful or compare myself to the people that are in the spaces and places that I don't need to be in because I have a different path in my life. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you listen to that, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully to see you guys on Saturday. Hopefully to see you in the one-day course. Hopefully to see you in the Sunday study groups. But like I said, I missed you guys. I love you guys. If you guys need anything, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com. I'll see you guys in the next video. In peace out, guys.